Hey guys, Smithcity here for Smithcity Product Reviews. I'm back with limited edition Blue Heaven raspberry and vanilla flavour BigM. It's returned. It might only be for a short amount of time, I do not know. But this reminds me of primary school lunch orders, as well as living very close to a milk bar on the same street as where I lived. And I think back in the day, I want to say that maybe one of these cost between 80 cents and $1.40, $4.50. And I bought it at a servo yesterday. I'm trying to, at the moment, with working 5 days a week and training 3 times a week, I'm looking at trying to boost up my calories, still in a balanced way, so I don't end up going back to 70 kilos and 10% body fat, having issues with my fatigue levels, and even though getting to a point where my body might look better, and I say look better because it's all about perception. I'm happy with where my body is currently at the moment, but in the last 3 weeks I've lost 2 and a bit kilos, and I don't really want to go back to where I was even when I had abs. I only had them for a short period of time. Got glandular fever because I was taking on too much stress and too many people's stuff when my cup was full, and subsequently obviously got extremely run down to the point of what I thought was chronic fatigue, which then turned out to be glandular fever, and had to have a big stint away off the gym. Still had to find a way to work within that because my finances didn't allow me to take any time off. But that's enough talking. I'm really looking forward to see if this is nostalgic. You got to do the Big M shake, don't you? You got to. So we're gonna open her up. Now, interesting, before I get it into a glass, there is a tab there. Do people drink it opening up the flaps? That's what she said. Or do people go the old school straw down there? So comment what you do. Are you someone that opens up the flaps, or are you someone that uses a straw? And I think I'm locked out of this. Or I've butchered this. Got it. I think it was a malfunction. I don't think it was me, because I opened it like a normal person would. Now watch this go everywhere out that little corner. There's a cut there. Get into a glass and I'll let you know my thoughts. Let me know my think. Can't talk. Not going to stop it. I'm too far into the review now, so we'll just have to roll with that bad English. So this is exactly how I remember the colour back in the 90s. Oh, that brings me back. That smell reminds me of a couple of things. It reminds me of Blue Heaven spiders, which I used to love growing up. And it reminds me of, school lunch orders that used to be run through that milk bar I was talking about. I remember drinking one of these in the playground. There used to be 2 separate playgrounds. One side of the school was for 4, 5s and 6s grades, and the other side of the school was for preps, 1s, 2s and 3s. And I remember near the play equipment, I was drinking this back when I was probably in grade 2, grade 3. Yeah, it brings me straight back into that moment. So I'm going to let you know my thoughts, guys. On the aroma, you do get a big, strong hit of vanilla. And I wouldn't say you smell much of the raspberry, but it probably will be in the taste. So cheers, guys. Yeah. Oh, that is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Now, obviously, this is a majority beer review channel. Kahlua, or Bailey's, make one of these. Make one of these. Trust me. Trust me. Make one of these as an alcoholic. Bailey's. I would get it and I'd review it. So, serving per pack. Now, I want to make this clear because obviously I'm a PT and I feel like it's my responsibility to continue to give a good, strong message around drinking and eating. Some people might think this is quite unhealthy. And look, it might be depending on what the rest of your days look like and the rest of your meals within a particular day look like and what your stresses are, your sleep patterns, all that sort of stuff. But if you can see there, guys, you've got the calories, which is 426. Yep, so there it is there. And then you've got the daily recommended per serve of what your body can have. And so you only need to look at protein's 40%. So if you were someone that struggled to get protein and you didn't have a good accessibility to protein powder and you weren't able to facilitate meals in a particular isolated incident, this is going to get you 40% protein or your daily intake, okay? Then you look at your energy, 20%. Then you've got your total fat, 21%, your saturated, 40%, your carbohydrate, 17%, your sugars, 59%, which is quite high. But ultimately, I don't have sugars in my tea, and I don't really have a lot of food that has sugar in it. So if I literally had this in a balanced way, which it's not really my thing to just buy these things all the time. I'd rather put my calories and my enjoyment into other things that I absolutely love, like drinking and reviewing alcohol twice a week, and also like popcorn and savory things are sort of my jam. So it is quite high, but if I have no other sugar, I've still got 40% to play with. You know what I mean? So do I shame myself for drinking this? Nah. And neither should you guys. Dietary fiber, 0%, so it's got no fiber. It's only got 11% sodium. Here's the kicker, though. It's got 88% of your recommended daily intake of calcium. Now, let's just say you had coffee in the morning, bought a sausage roll and a dare iced coffee at a servo, and then you jump into this, then you might have another 2 coffees of an afternoon, and then you might have one catching up with a friend or whatever. You're probably going about 200% of your daily recommended intake. So then all of a sudden you might feel that you're feeling a little bit bloated through your stomach. You might feel a little bit fuller. That might create some perceptions around how you talk to yourself in your head of calling yourself overweight or fat or ugly or lazy or and you can see how that sort of perpetuates those negative thoughts. Made in Australia from at least 99% Australian ingredients. Ingredients: fresh, reduced fat milk, sugar, flavour, colour, 133, whatever that is. And that's all that's in it, guys. It's got a 4-star health rating. So even with all those high percentage things there, it's still got a health star rating. And that probably might be to do with the calcium being that high of your recommended daily intake. So you are getting close to doing it from this. But that's always never something. Oh, sorry, I'll start that again. That is something that you shouldn't really necessarily overly focus on. Because like I've said in another video with my SmithFit PT content and another video that I did on some Woolworths snacks, is that with a particular food item, I think it was like 1.5 stars. Now, someone looking at that might view it as quite a bad food, but it had like 140 140 or 130 calories. It was a little snack, but the percentages on particular things were quite high, and it probably didn't have some benefits that maybe are misleading. I don't know if the calcium and the percentages of the calcium is giving that rating, but never look at particular things and really look at that as a guide of going, oh my God, that's so healthy, I'm going to drink 4 of them because it's got a 4-star health rating. Because then if you drink 4 of them, then pretty much most of those things are probably at capacity. Do you know what I mean? So I've gone a little bit off on a tangent, but I think it's quite important because I work with people that are trying to lose weight and trying to fix their well-being and their mental health around particular things like diet culture and how they perceive themselves and how they perceive their bodies and that sort of stuff. And if you can't enjoy this without guilting and shaming yourself to then go into restriction, to then go into a future binge, you can see how that is a very big cycle that you can fall into that you can't stop. You most definitely can stop, but the more you go into that, the harder it is to stop that behavior. So I got another 2 from the servo yesterday, 2 oaks because it was cheaper to do that. It was 1 for $4.50 or 2 for $6. So I got a s'mores one and also banoffee one. Obviously I'm not going to do them today because one, I'm lactose intolerant, so this is going to wreak havoc with my guts, but I haven't had any coffee or dairy today, so sometimes it's about enjoying it, even though it might create some issues. It's not going to create too many issues, but if I then continue to drink dairy and eat some dairy stuff, it would give me some issues. But yeah, guys, that's a ripper. They do have a competition at the moment where you take a selfie with BigM Blueheaven to win, and you send the selfie at bigmselfie.com.au for your chances to win. But it's interesting, the inflation of particular products. I'm not too sure if that's because it was from a servo, because I know servos normally jack up the price because it's a convenience thing, especially when there's petrol stations and servos all around an area. When you're out and about, there may not necessarily be that many supermarkets around, so they corner the market in that way. And look, that's their prerogative. That's life and that's business. But yeah, I remember back when you used to be able to get party pies for like 70 cents or 60 cents, and now if you were to buy party pies from like a kiosk or for whatever, you're probably getting 3 for like $5 or $6. Just interesting how the world's operated. So before I leave you guys, drinking, I can't really say the drinkability because it's just milk at the end of the day, but it is quite enjoyable to drink. It's quite nostalgic for me. In the comment section, please let me know what your go-to BigM is. I haven't had one in a very, very long time, but my go-to, if I have one, is banana. Absolutely love it. Let me know if you dislike the banana flavor, and comment which flavor you do like. And from a rating standpoint, because of the nostalgic factor, I'm probably going to give it a 9 out of 10. Good stuff, BigM. And yeah, I'm not too sure when I'll do the oak ones. I do have some beers that I've got in the fridge from the last few months where they've just been sitting there for ages. So I'll get stuck into them over a period of time. I'm trying to limit the amount of spending I do on alcohol with stuff going on in my life. And so if you see me eating or drinking food and doing reviews, understand that I'm trying to do it within my means still. And I most certainly don't want to attach guilt and shame because I'm just trying to eat or have some sort of mental regulation through doing these videos. So that's it from me. It's a 9, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers.